Good morning, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be working on this 2012 62 Ford Fiesta that I purchased from Copart Rochford yesterday for £725. Them bargains are still out there. You've just got to keep your eyes peeled, stay on that auction, be persistent, and you will find one. Guys, this is a proper nice little car. Only done 30 odd thousand miles. We're going to jump in it in a minute and have a good look. It's got very minor damage and it is quite a nice model. I'll just keep going through. It's got the Zetec S bumpers on it, or Sport, whatever you'd like to call it. These headlights, by rights this headlight should be broken, and I couldn't really work out in the pictures why it wasn't broken, because the car has been hit here, it's pulled the bumper, and normally it would break the lugs. Upon inspection, when I've opened the bonnet this morning, there's not actually any bolts in that headlight. So obviously somebody's had aftermarket headlights in it. They've removed those after the accident and they've been kind enough to put two perfect headlights in it, which is lovely for me because it's another thing I haven't got to buy. But we do have one of those spare out of the blue parts car anyway. So yeah, the damage on this one, I have been right underneath it. The engine bed is absolutely fine. We've got a bit of damage on this wheel and the tyre, and the lower arm is bent back and the drop link bar for the anti-roll bar is snapped. So I am going to be going off straight away to collect a lower arm for it, getting that fitted, getting a tyre put on so that the car does start and drive and I can get it on and off the truck. There shouldn't be any reason to put it back on once I've got it off. It has got these, they're like Sport Zetec S, ST side skirts, they're all the same I believe. And it has had a previous repair here where we've got a crack in a very thin piece of filler, so we'll be having that pulled out, banged out, and having that completely repaired as well. The back of it, again, it's got that nice spoiler on it, and it has got the Zetec or Sport rear bumper. It is a titanium model, so it has all the really nice extra little parts. Sorry guys, just walk round to the other side. Round the other side, as you can see, it is in lovely condition. There's not really any marks in the side of the car or the back of it. The wheels are all in quite nice condition. It is just going to want a really good clean and wash. So basically, yeah, it was £725. The towing eye's in there because obviously they've had to pull it. £725, and that is the only damage on it. It did have a flat battery. I've just chucked the jump pack on it, started it up, and it's been running now for about 35 minutes and the fan's been cutting in and out, so that all seems really good. Let's just jump inside. This is obviously why they ripped the car off, and this will be the main damage on the car. But if you have been watching my videos, you will know that I've got an airbag kit in the little blue parts Fiesta that I won for £225, and like quite a few of you do keep saying, that car just keeps on giving. I've already repaired 2 cars out of that blue Fiesta, and this will be the 3rd, and I'm sure there is a couple more to come. It has got a broken windscreen, but again, I've got the windscreen in that blue parts Fiesta. The airbag kit is all going to come out of that Fiesta. I'm going to do a video on changing the airbags, but today my priority is to get it manoeuvrable. So get a lower arm put on it, get a tyre put on, and get it so that it can move around. Yeah, it's the titanium. So it does have the USB and the AUX. It has the Sony stereo, which all works. It has digital climate control, which I've had on, and that all seems to work perfect. So yeah, all in all, quite a nice little car. I'm not really sure why this is all in the back, but it's actually Fiat 500, that grille, and so's that, and all of the grills for that car seem to be there. So maybe it was a Fiat 500 that hit this car, or maybe this car hit a Fiat 500, but nevertheless there's a grille there with no damage on it, and we are partial to repairing a Fiat 500. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section after the video this afternoon. But I'm going to go ahead, go over, grab a lower arm for the car, get it fitted on, and then hopefully drive it off of the truck today. I'll grab a wing for it while I'm over there, the Ford breakers where I normally go. I don't think he'll have one in red, but it's going to need painting anyway, and I'll be having that wing painted, that front bumper repaired and painted, probably the side skirt, and then I'll just get him to do right down one side. He's very, very cheap, the guy I use, and he's ideal for these little cars. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead now, go over, get this lower arm and get it fitted. So the parts I require for it today is going to be the lower arm, the drumstick and the wing. I've just popped to the local breakers. I've got the wing now in lovely condition, but obviously not in the right colour. I've got the drumstick, I like to call it, but obviously it is the steering rack end, and quite a lot of people have picked me up on what is a drumstick. So in the trade, that is what we call a drumstick. And I've also grabbed the lower arm from there off of a 16 reg car with 9,000 miles on it, so it's like new, and that was £40 for the lot. So I'm going to go ahead, get this jacked up. I'll try to film it, but I have done it before. Changing the lower arm is all straightforward stuff. So I'm going to go ahead, change the lower arm, change the rack end, get the spare wheel off of the parts car put on there, get that wing stripped off. I shall probably base up the inside of that other wing so it can be fitted on there permanently and stay on, and then deliver it to the paint shop. I may change the airbags before it goes, I may do it after, but I'm going to crack on and get this done. So as you can see, the damage is actually limited to the wing. If you look at the inner wing there, or the inner seal, there's actually no damage on it whatsoever, and the plastic, it's just got a crack in it. I will be taking this liner out and changing it, but I just thought I'd show the damage. There's the bent drumstick. I've already undone it. We're going to give that a tap on the side there with a hammer and get that to drop out. Makes it more manoeuvrable. And the lower arm, as you can see, is bananaed round that way. So we're going to be removing this bolt here, removing the bolt up under here, removing the split pin out of the end of it, and then taking that out. It will realign and we'll get the new one dropped in there. So guys, as usual, I think about wearing gloves after the effect. The lower arm's out, quite simple to get out, very simple in fact. There's the new one there, but I'm going to go ahead, while I've got the lower arm off and I've got the room, I can get the rack right across and get in there with a pair of Stilsons and get this rack end off. So there's that bent rack end, guys, and as you can see, it is quite bad. By no means can you track a car up yourself. It does really need to go on tracking equipment, but I always do try and by eye get the amount of grooves left in the thread, try and get them pretty much the same, and then you are giving yourself half a chance to actually be able to get the car manoeuvrable, have the steering wheel straight, etc. But this car will require tracking. I'm going to go ahead, get this new drumstick put on, get the new lower pan put on, and try and get this back on its wheels, running and driving. That's only a little shame, but these are not actually sided, but the ends are, and I've just realised that this is a driver's side, so we'll have to spin this off and change it for the one that come off of the bent one, which I've already taken off. As you can see, they are actually sided, so a bit of a shame because that one looks quite new, but let's get that one on there. So as you can see, guys, all pretty much run-of-the-mill stuff that you can all do on your own cars at home. That's the lower arm fitted, the new rack end fitted with the original track rod end. We've got this little bracket up here. I need to straighten out, get this slotted back in. I'm going to go ahead and go and pick up a new drop link. They're about £8 each. And then I'm going to buy a spray can in red to base up the inside of the wing. I'll show you on the new wing that I've bought, sorry, before anyone picks me up on it. The inside of the wings are only based. So that's the original colour on this one, which is like a grey blue, and the inside hardly has any paint on it at all. So I will go ahead and do that, put it on the car so that it can be fitted on there permanently. I can line it up, and then a paint shop can go ahead and just paint the outside of it and blow in that door and that quarter panel. So I'm going to crack on now. I'm going to go ahead, go and buy one of these drop links, get that fitted, start taking this wheel arch liner out, and start thinking about taking the wing off and replacing it with the new one. So there you go, guys, just a couple of hours. I'll put that wheel back on in a moment, and this will be manoeuvrable. And as I said before, there's not actually any damage behind there at all. It's all in lovely condition. You've got a couple of little minor scuffs here on the paint, but nothing. I'm going to be going ahead getting a can of base coat anyway to do the inside edge of that wing, so I will just touch those up and obviously touch up that bracket that I've straightened out. This is going to be the main, obviously quite a tough job to do, because I'm going to have to warm that up, solder it up the best I can, put some fiberglass inside and get that really strong, because I don't want to go and buy a new front bumper just because of that crack. And I've actually repaired them before where this is completely missing and put them back on, but as you can see it is quite bulged up, so I'm going to have to go ahead, get that warmed up, get that all pushed back down, and then go ahead get that soldered on there. I'm not going to show soldering that on there. So many people have done the videos on YouTube of them soldering up pieces of plastic, so I'm going to go ahead, go and get this can of base coat and try and get that wing sitting on there the best I can. I just wanted to add this in. I've come down to grab this paint, and the guy actually makes it in the shop. These canisters already come charged, and he knocks up the paint, mixes it up on his mixing scheme, and basically this is it. He puts it into this pot and then forces it through this into the can, which is incredible. I thought it was going to be like going to Halfords. This is one of the only shops left really around, a small local motor factors, and I just thought I'd add this to the video because it looked really interesting. Let's get back to the car. I've just got back and I haven't got a grille of memory on the camera, so it is coming to an end shortly. I'm just going to be, I've got some green Scotch. I'm going to go ahead, scotch all this off, scotch off these holes down the bottom here and all round that inside edge, and I will just be literally spraying a bit of that base coat on there to colour it up before I bolt it on. That way there's no reason for that to come back off, and when they do the blend it's going to be all bolted in place and they can go straight down the side. I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back once I'm bolting it on in the colour. So guys, that's just basically it. I like to colour up the inside and then actually get the panel installed, and they'll be painting right up and flicking it around that edge anyway, but it just gets it all done so that I can go ahead, get this bolted on there, and then leave it up to the paint shop to do their job. I'm going to go ahead now and get this fully installed. It's pretty much on there now. I'm getting quite close with it where I want it. I've just picked up one of these drop links because I didn't have one. I've showed you fitting these before, quite simple. Just push it through this hole, do the nut up, and the same down the bottom on the anti-roll bar. So I'm going to go ahead, get this on there, and then get this wheel on, get this off the truck. I've got the soldering iron out and I've just done a bit of soldering. I've warmed that up there and got that to sit flush, and as you can see I've soldered all of that back together. I've seen quite a lot of different people doing soldering work. Some, they get the soldering iron out and just try and glue the cracks together. Guys, that doesn't work. I mean, it'll work temporarily, but in the real world you need to replace what you're burning out. And I've seen other people using cable ties. I mean, cable ties are quite stretchy, they're not brilliant. So what I do tend to do, some may agree, some may not agree, but this is what I do. Like the bumper down the bottom here, that there is just extra plastic. I've actually cut and nicked a little bit of plastic out there that's never ever being used, and as you can see I've got it in my hand, and that is what I'm melting down and putting back in these gaps. The same plastic as what's coming out, and it really does stick in there very well. I'm now going to knock this down, get this bolted on, and that will be us done for the outside of this car. So I've knocked that back, guys, and that is it sitting in place, and I think you'd agree we have saved that bumper, and that's absolutely fine. I've knocked it back a little bit further so that they will get a little smidgen of filler in there and they'll get it 100% right. Let's go ahead and pull it out, and that is all repaired. This little hoop here I will glue up. It does keep coming apart, but it doesn't actually serve any purpose. So as far as I'm concerned, that is good enough. That's now going to get a little smidgen of filler and be painted, the corner of this bumper, with the side of the car. Let's go ahead, get a couple of bolts in this temporary to drop it out the paint shop, and we're going to get it unloaded off the back of the truck, drive it around the car park, make sure that it all works okay. So there you go, guys, 36,000, and it all drives now, which is lovely because I can move it around. I'm going to park up, we jump outside, have a little walk round it and see what I've done. So there you go, that's as far as I can go with it. Obviously I'm not a painter, so it's going to need paint job. We'll have a little bit of filler put in the edge of that bumper. We'll have the corner painted, we'll have the wing right through this side, and we'll have that dent repaired. Apart from that, this car doesn't need any other paint work. Number plate on it last night when I collected it, and when I woke up this morning from outside my house, that had disappeared. So I don't know if that's fallen off or somebody's took it, but yeah, the car doesn't need any other paint work, just that repair, and then obviously the airbags to do. I've cut the airbags out for a moment because it does make it 10 times easier to remove them once you've actually cut them out. That is going to be a wrap for today. I hope you do enjoy the longer video. I do have a 264 whatever it is gigabyte phone coming, not next week, the week after, so I'll be able to do 20-minute, half-hour videos because I'll have the memory for it. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. I do things like this all the time. And yeah, don't forget, please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.